My name is Victor Tempest, and this is my associate.
I'm Seti.
And obviously, this is the birth of a new YouTube channel. We're calling it Delete This. And on this channel, we're going to discuss a wide range of topics, various subjects, and just, give our points of view about them.
Current events,
And current
news,
events.
I don't know, anything that comes to mind. I mean, this is our channel. We talk about whatever the fuck we want.
Exactly.
No one can stop us. It's the internet.
And remember, always click like and subscribe to this video. If
I mean,
you want to see more.
Just remember the shameless plug. Like, fuck it.
Right? Why don't you just put it out there?
Right.
Okay.
Critical thinking. That's kind of the subject that we're touching on right now.
Okay.
And how it's been going kind of in a downward slide, downward trajectory. I mean, people are really losing objectivity. I tried to bring up this point to several people, but it just seems to go over their fucking heads. I mean, I see more and more people just going on emotions and feelings and gut reactions than actually thinking about how shit happened. They don't want the whole story anymore. They just want the soundbite.
Okay, so you think the media has a huge influence on this?
Man.
Do you think that would cause us to get to this point? I say that because you used the phrase soundbite right there.
Yeah, I did.
You know what I'm saying? So that's like that quick 2-minute shot right there where we just get out the most basic info as possible and people just roll with that.
Yeah, that's what they react to. I think it might just be part of technology as well. Technology might be part of it as well, because you don't have to, memorization is not there. Knowing the whole story is not there. You don't have to go into history anymore. You can just Google some shit.
Exactly. I mean, what was the last time, do you remember back in the late 80s, early 90s, when you went to the library and you had to go to the card catalog to find what you was looking for?
The Dewey Decimal
The
System.
Dewey Decimal, baby. You remember that shit?
Right.
And you had to sit there and read hundreds of books before you finally got the information you was looking for.
Right, you had encyclopedias open, dictionaries open,
Exactly.
you're referencing
Your whole
things.
table was layered in books, pages, and dust.
And that might have helped with some of those critical thinking skills, because you had to kind of come to some kind of assumption about what was next when you research things, And, that's when you have the librarian coming over with a stack of books, like, this is what I found, maybe it can help you,
Right.
We don't have that anymore, people don't.
There's no Google Assistant.
Well, I mean, kind of there is. I could just be like, hey, Siri, what up,
Oh, Siri. It's not quite the same thing.
No, you're right.
Siri be like, based on your search patterns, you could be looking at this. But that's not really the same thing.
No.
That's not someone else applying their critical skills in addition to yours to help you reach a synthesis of thought.
No, you're right. That's true. And I mean, I don't know how to get people back to trying to find the whole story. I mean, there are a few people out there that do dig deeper and do the due diligence, but it seems like that is vanishing.
They just want the basics. They just want the cream at the top. They don't care about nothing under the surface.
Yeah. And I mean, the biggest one that I can point out right now, the most relevant thing I can point out right now, is Donald Trump.
I knew he was going to go there. I knew this shit was coming.
I know.
Oh, Trump.
Yeah.
So many things to say about that guy.
Yeah, but
let's run it back and get back to this critical thinking and how
But that's
Donald
part of it,
Trump
though.
comes into this relevant conversation. How does it happen?
Because look at his fucking voters, man. Look at the people who are supporting him. There's nothing back there. They hear the headline, they see the speech, and they don't even question the history. They don't question any part of it. Questioning things is done for them. They don't care. There's no new thoughts there. They're not adding their own thoughts to this person's thoughts. They just take what he says, and they're like, well, yeah, that's how I feel now. And they don't even care to even think about what the fuck is going on, what he just said, or what's happening.
Why should they have to think anymore? I mean, there's someone else who could do thinking for them. I mean, and that person is probably smarter. I mean, he's wealthy, right? So he must be smart. Isn't that the common trend in thought these days?
I mean, that's what it's
I mean, our leaders are smarter than us, richer than us, so clearly they know better than us.
That's a mistake because
That's a mistaken assumption right there? Is that what you said?
Yeah, are you kidding me?
So you're saying then that you're smarter than Donald Trump?
I'm saying that
Donald Trump, who's worth like what, like $3 billion?
billions and billions of dollars.
But you're saying you're smarter than him?
I'm not saying I'm smarter than him. I'm just saying I feel like the people that are supporting him aren't really thinking about the long-term consequences. And you know what? Maybe Donald Trump is smart. He always talks about how he graduated from this good business school or whatever and whatnot. That's all well and good, but
I don't know if he actually did the homework though.
I don't know either, but that's not the point.
It seems suspect.
That's not the point. The point is
he says he's smart, so he is smart?
And people just believe him because they lack the critical thinking. Like they're not thinking for themselves. They don't want to do.
You're talking about the same guy who says that immigrants are the one who's ruining this country. So he's gonna build a wall between America and Mexico, and have the Mexicans not only build the wall to keep them from coming over here, but have them pay for the wall that they're building to keep them from coming over here.
I mean, that's what he says.
I mean, yeah, that sounds smart.
People believe him. I mean,
that sounds smart because I can just see like 100 Mexicans jumping on that idea.
But people believe him though. They don't care.
No, I got Mexicans in my job. I haven't even asked their opinion on this shit. Maybe I should.
Don't. Don't. Because, first of all, they'll laugh. Second of all, they'll all be talking to each other like, this motherfucker might be a Trump supporter. Like, you better be careful.
I'm pretty sure nobody in my job thinks I'm a Trump supporter. If anything, they're like, they see Vic, they're like, hey, Bernie, what's up, Bernie?
Oh, man. See, and I don't even want to bring it into politics, but that's just like the most relevant thing that we have to think about right now is, you know, because it's an election year and shit is coming up soon and it's on everybody's minds. But it's not just this, though. I mean, I think all the way back to so many things like, you know, religion and the whole shit with fucking Middle East wars and stuff like that. It's just like, we were not thinking. We were going on gut feelings and reactions like, oh, we got hit, we need to hit back. It's like, well, yeah, that's like the logic of a second grader, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the logic of a person who's trying to better themselves or trying to work some shit out. That's terrible. Like, you know.
What is that, what expression that goes, an eye for an eye leaves everyone blind?
Exactly. That's so true. And have we forgotten this? I mean, what is going on? I don't understand.
You don't hear these expressions anymore. Yeah. It's not a current train of thought anymore.
It's not. Everything's memes now.
Exactly.
Fucking memes.
Exactly.
Everything's
fucking memes. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah.
You know? Hey, man, I saw this meme the other day that was talking about... Exactly.
No, you're right. And, I don't know, maybe our subscribers can tell us. Maybe they can leave a comment and tell us exactly what the hell is going on in their world. Like, do they see people thinking? Do you see people trying to work shit out for themselves, or do you just see them going with the flow? Because I gotta say, in my experience, it's few and far between you'll meet someone who's just like, you know, I disagree and here's why.
Oh, well, some people will say they disagree, but they can't clarify why they disagree.
Never.
No, it's just a feeling. I don't know, it just don't feel right.
That's what I'm saying. This whole thing is about these gut reactions and just instant responses that leave out all the brain matter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, we are moving into a more increasingly technological time in our lives. I mean, there was a time, like we said, with the whole Dewey Decimal everything, where everything took time to process, to form opinions, rational, logical opinions, based on the available knowledge at the time. There was a time when this was a thing. This was something that everybody was doing. But nowadays, it's like, why think about something when I can just Google it? Why research shit when I can just ask Siri? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Why should I have to feel any particular way when there's someone there right there who can tell me how to feel, how to think about something? And it needs to be quick. It needs to be instant because I don't got time for nothing else. I can't take 5 hours to read a book right now. Google, give me the answers. What was Macbeth about?
Oh my God, don't even talk about reading, man. Cause
exactly, that's another thing. How many people do you know who read these days?
Blogs?
Vlogs? No, not blogs. Vlogs. Yeah. That's what they do. They don't go and check. They don't even check Tumblr that much anymore. Instead, they go straight to YouTube.
Yeah, and here we are. So
I mean, Clearly, there's a sense for irony there, everybody.
Oh, wow, we're part of the problem, see?
Part of the problem. But see, here's what we're telling you, though. We're telling you that people are lacking critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
This is a phenomenon that is affecting tons of situations in our lives, from relationships to politics, work situations. And it's because people are not taking the time to think about what situations are going on, accessing the available knowledge at the time, and figuring out what the outcomes are, positive and negative, of any situation, and then choosing the one that's in the best interest. People are failing in that regard these days. And I always say, I think it's because of the schools. I think it's because of the schools. I've always talked about public schools. Don't get me wrong, I went to public school, but I'm going to tell you, most of the stuff I learned, I did not learn in public schools.
Yeah.
See, and that's what I think is sad. Because here we are, this supposedly free thing that's available to educate our citizens. And instead of telling them how to think, how to think for themselves, how to develop those critical thinking skills, instead we're telling them what to think. Here, don't worry about that, just follow the formula. That's all you got to do.
That is a big problem.
Don't wonder why 2 + 2 is 4. Just know that 2 + 2 is 4.
Yeah,
Well, who devised the system in the first place? Where did it come from? Must it always be a base 10 in our mathematical system? Was there ever a base 6 before? Was there ever a base 12? Oh, what are you telling me? There's other cultures that had these other bases, but why are we stuck on this one?
True.
Does anyone know the history of that anymore?
No.
No, they don't. They know base 10. And that right there is advanced, because most people can't even tell you what base 10 is.
True. It's just, I wouldn't even say common knowledge. It's just like forgotten to the point where it's just accepted.
Exactly. It's forgotten. It's starting to become a lost thing right now. The people no longer seem to care about the history.
And you know what? I'm going to say this too. Part of that critical thinking is skepticism. And there are a lot of people that are gullible as fuck out there.
Exactly. There's that. Exactly. There's that too, because what is it? If it's not UFOs or Britney Spears, a closet alien who her air ran out, so she did something stupid.
Man, what about the fucking lizard people over the government? Come on now, there's all
it's all kinds of shit, and it's because people are just not thinking about shit. For instance, what was the article I read the other day? It was talking about conspiracy theories, and it was talking about 9/11. Yes, we're bringing up this subject again. How many times has this subject been brought up?
Hey, that's what we're going into.
But we're going to talk about it, right? Because they said that the fuel from the jet fuel from these planes was hot enough to melt these steel beams in this tower, right? So that's super hot. But somehow, passports, things made of paper and plastic, survived when steel beams could not. Cool story, bro.
Well, they said that it weakened the steel. It didn't actually melt it. It just weakened and bent.
I mean, that seems like a lot of heat to me.
Yeah, well.
Is that more than enough heat to melt plastic? To burn paper?
I'm not an engineer, so
should we do some kind of experiment where we can show people the difference between?
There's people that have already done the experiments. The fucking, what are they called? There's like some alliance of engineers out there who like came forward and talked about the shit, and I don't know, everybody just ignored them. Just like, you're wrong. You don't know anything. You just build buildings for a living. Just like
right. That's the wrong person to ask. What could he possibly know? Yeah. He's nobody. Listen, Bush got on the news and told everybody it was an act of terrorism, and that's what people rolled out with. And next thing you know, we got the Patriot Act coming into Congress.
And that's part of this whole critical thinking thing, man. Like, they don't see the consequences because they're not holding back their final conclusion. They just want shit to get dealt with immediately. They want that immediacy. And they want to see results right here, right now. But that's not the way the world works. If things happen, you need to take the time to figure shit out.
Indeed.
The truth of it, you know what I'm saying?
To investigate.
Yes. But they don't do that anymore. There's no need for it. No need for investigation. It's just condemn these motherfuckers right off the bat, execute them, wipe them out, whatever. It don't matter. Just ruin their whole. Dude, how many fucking false rape cases have been in the news lately because some person will come forward and everybody just listen and believe, and they all just run to this person.
But then everybody wants to jump on train too because they feel like, oh, there's money involved. Let me get up on his so I can get some of that money as well.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, hold on though. The money might come into it, but I think the people that are actually thinking about money when they see a crisis are thinking in a more rational and logical way than those who are just going on their emotional responses.
I'll give you that. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, because
the emotional response comes first. The person who's actually using their brain, they're going to take a second to think about that for a second. How can I benefit from this situation?
Yeah.
And yes, that right there shows a train of thought. That shows logical decisions right there.
Yeah. A lot that you don't see from that initial
rush. No, you don't see that.
You don't see that. So the people out there trying to make their money off of crises and shit, they're thinking a little bit further. And honestly, I don't know how to get people back to that level of critique and analysis and that kind of rigorous investigation of ideas, because nobody wants their ideas challenged anymore.
No. People are too afraid to stand up for their own personal opinions because the first thing they think is going to happen is that someone's going to challenge them, and they're going to be embarrassed. They're not going to be able to show themselves out in public anymore.
You know why? Because they don't have reasons for what they fucking think. That's why. That's why, because there's no fucking reason.
True, but another thing you can take another way you can take a look at that is to say emotional as well. There's that emotional strength that used to be there as well. Mm-hmm. Like before, you was encouraged to stand up. You was encouraged to explain yourself. You was encouraged to not be a part of the crowd, but to stand out and be proud of that. Mm-hmm. Now it's anything that puts you outside of the crowd is a bad thing.
Collectivism,
exactly. Mm-hmm. You can't say a radical opinion now without fear of consequences. First of all, being the exile. You're being separated, and now you're an outsider. Oh, this person ain't nothing like us. We can't talk to him.
Yeah, and it's... it wasn't like that all the time. You could have a different opinion from somebody, and you just had to agree to disagree. It seems like agreeing to disagree has just died.
No.
Now you have to fight. Like, the lines are drawn.
We fight. That's it. Either you agree with me or we fight. There's no compromise. There's no halfway point. There's no, okay, this part we walk away from the conversation. Yeah. That doesn't even happen.
I know how you feel. You know how I feel. Now let's just continue with our lives. That's not good enough.
That doesn't happen anymore. I mean, you can really see that when it comes to like relationships now. Yeah, oh, wow. It goes down now.
Yeah, that's a good point. But then again, who's critically thinking in a relationship? The thinking starts coming years down the line.
Okay, wait a minute. I'll give you
who is this bitch again? Like, I can't believe she did this shit. Like,
in the initial rush of a new form relationship, yes, typically one is consumed by passion, and so therefore, a more primitive side of their brain is taken over at this point.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Cognitive functions are diminished at this point. All right, and that's fine. It is what it is. And as you said, those critical thinking skills, the ability to objectively think about your partner and the way they think, talk, and act, typically comes later down the road.
Much later.
But here's the problem.
After the sex is dried up, once the arguing starts and all the crazy shit.
But the problem with that though is all those relationships that start like that tend to end quickly. They tend to burn out really quickly because no one had that conversation in the beginning. Like, hey, this is me, full disclosure. And we talked about it, worked some things out. I think I can deal with that. I don't think I can deal with that. I'm not willing to deal with that.
But keep that side separate. At the same time, though, it's hard because how do you know? Like, a two-person dynamic is so fluid. Even if you do put yourself out there completely, and they put themselves out there completely, the first time you see someone do something out of pocket, you're like, wait a minute, now I did not account for this. And it always happens.
But see, okay, all right, and that does happen a lot. But see, I think part of that comes from the fact that a lot of people don't take the time to get to know themselves. How many people do you know jump from one relationship to the next without spending any of the interval time reassessing, trying to figure out where did it all go wrong? Yeah. Was it me? Was it them? What happened? What have I learned from this situation? How can I improve upon myself? And how can I not be with another crazy bitch like that?
Well,
exactly. But a lot of people are not doing that. Instead, oh, I can't be lonely. Everybody else is hooking up. I need to hook up. And so they go out there and they snatch the first person they get, and everything seems cool for that first weekend. And then afterwards, I can't believe this bitch drunk the last one. And that's how that shit starts.
You're right though. And hey, that's part of critical thinking. They're not processing. They're not processing. And thinking is a process. And if you don't know yourself, then yeah, you're definitely not thinking at all. I don't know. How can we get people to think though? Is there even a solution? Is there even a solution to all this? Because
Wow.
we're touching upon a lot of shit here. Like we're going in all different directions because it takes
critical thinking affects every situation in your life.
It does.
Wow. How do we increase critical thinking skills?
Watch this channel.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug. I like that. See, there we go. Now you're getting into it. Oh man, fuck. Let's see. How to increase critical thinking skills? First of all, let's stop handing people knowledge. Let's have people start earning it like we used to have to. Instead, start teaching them how to think, and when a person has a question, give them the tools they can use in order to find their own answer.
Right. And I think a part of that is going to be a community process as well.
Oh, definitely. That's not something a single person can take on.
No, it has to be a group effort to try to get people in the right mindset. And I know a lot of people are probably going to say, well, that's where the argument comes in, and we're trying to get them to see the light and all this shit, but...
No, all you're doing is yelling pointless facts at them that they're not responding to.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people process information in different ways. So if all you're doing is presenting information this one-track way, yeah, you're going to get some people to jump on board, but other people will shy away from that because I can't relate to that. I don't know what you're talking about right now. I don't see it. And some of that, once again, is that critical thinking, too. It's that ability to separate their emotions from what the subject actually is.
Objectivity.
Exactly.
Objectivity. It's really hard to do. Okay. Let's just pause. Alright, so back to critical thinking. I mean, are there any areas that we haven't touched upon? Because you were right about it literally affecting every part of our lives, because every interaction should come down to thinking critically.
Should. I mean, think about like when you're hanging out with your guys, and one of them suggests a really fucking stupid ass idea, and everybody else immediately jumps the fucking board. There should be one guy in the group who'd be like, wait, hold up. You want to do what? Listen, man, I ain't down with that, man. I'm going to tell you why. This is what's going to happen if we even try this fucking shit. Have you seen the security at that place? The motherfuckers is beasts. I ain't going in there like that.
True.
I'm going to stay out here. Listen, won't y'all go in and tell me how that shit work out? Someone's got to have the car ready to go.
All right, so tell me this then.
Okay.
Well, what is your process? I mean, I consider you a person who thinks quite a bit and who, tries to figure shit out and is curious. I mean, do you have a way to approach new things? Do you have a way that you... I don't know. Do you have a process, or is it just too intrinsic? Is it just in our nature to be thinking people, and some people just missed out on it genetically, and we got this breed of fucking chuds down there that just don't know what the fuck they're doing?
As a child, I had a lot of freedom.
Okay.
And so, I don't know. The first thing my mother did when I was born, was like start reading to me. She started me on a journey to investigating things, researching things for myself, thinking about things. And so I grew up in that kind of mind frame. When I decided I wanted to write, the first thing I decided about myself was I didn't know enough yet. I haven't experienced enough yet. So I went out to collect experiences. Mm-hmm. And so I always saw something new, something redefined. And I thought about how that would affect me, not only in that moment, but years later down the road. So there were situations that I allowed to happen simply because I wanted the experience. I already knew how it would go down. I already knew what the end result would be, but I wanted to experience so that I could talk about it later. So I could use that as part of my process. For me, man, I've always been thinking, I've always been examining things, and questioning. I think that's the first thing. They say the first sign of sentience. Is that how you say the word? Because that's how I say it. Mm-hmm. They say the first sign of sentience is the ability to question thyself and thy environment. And that's the first thing I do. I'm always questioning, why does my body feel like this? Why is this going on like this? Why is this person acting like that? And how do we investigate that situation? How do we get from here to there? Why does fire do what it is? Why is the sky blue? Man, I must have drove my mother crazy by the time I was 9 because I would come to her every day with questions. Now, my mother was a smart cookie. She took her high school year and read every book in her library. She was a very intelligent woman. I remember going to her as a kid, coming straight from school, be like, hey, guess what I learned in school today? And get to talk about it. She was like, oh, yeah. And you mean like how it does this and does that and does this? I was like, how'd you know about that? Mom was a genius. I mean, by the time I got to 15, there was only 30-something questions that I asked her that she didn't have an answer for. That was logical, made sense, and was effective. Now, there was times when she didn't know the answer. And she'd be like, now you got to go do your research.
All right.
And that's what I did. So, essentially, if you want to ask me what my process was, how did it all begin? I was sent on the quest. I was the intrepid explorer, braving new territory, diving into new realms of knowledge and experience.
I'm going to say this then. If your upbringing is part of it, then there's a lot of people out there who are getting brought up not to experience new shit.
Oh, hell yeah. You already know this. I mean, shit. I was on the bus a couple of months ago, and there was this woman, another woman, and their child, right? Not their child, the younger woman's child. She must have been 17, 18, with a child. Her mother, who's who another woman was maybe 30s, maybe early 40s, but looks very young still.
Right.
And the young one was turning around and say, hey, Mom, I want to go out tonight to the club. Can you watch my kid? Mom started and said, baby, I'm going out tonight. You watch your own badass kid.
Wow.
So I feel like that said a whole lot about everything right there.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got young ass people having young kids, when you have kids having kids, there's a problem right there. Because obviously there's something missing in that support structure.
Yeah.
Obviously there's something missing in that family nature. Because first of all, you don't know anything about being an adult first. Taking care of yourself first. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to bring an innocent into this mix. Who's going to suffer because of your lack of knowledge, your lack of experience, your lack of a support structure.
I mean, I wasn't.
And then what you're going to do is continue to promote this. Because what you're going to say is, well, it was good enough for my mama. It's good enough for you. And that child is going to grow up with that same kind of mentality.
I wasn't even thinking about that. But
I know people up north. I know people up north, man, who worked at Walmart for the last 20 years. And you ask them, hey, Walmart, really? That's your life path? That's your career? And the answer that I come across more than I want to even say right now is, it was good enough for my mama. It's good enough for me. And so, that, to me, is so sad.
People denying new experiences to themselves. That's like a caste system, like, or they don't even see over the horizon type shit. You brought it to that direction. I was thinking about the whole religious angle and how people are like, thou shalt not. And then there's just a list of shit that you cannot do. Because
that's indoctrination. And it starts at an early fucking age.
It does.
You know what I'm saying? Even to name your child is a religious act now. Oh, you just christened your child. What? How the fuck I do that? I just named the motherfucker. That has nothing to do with that.
But I mean, just thinking about critical thinking and how people come to, new conclusions and come up with different explanations for shit. I think religion is just like a brick fucking wall.
Dude, I mean, you can't argue with a religious zealot. Not even if you use their own words against it, because there's a gap missing there.
Something's missing.
There's a gap missing. When you get to the point in the dialogue where, well, listen, the Bible, so it must be true, then that's effectively when all rational conversation stops.
Yeah.
Because, okay, how do we know that's true?
I mean,
because the book was wrote by God. Really? So you mean to tell me that this all-powerful, almighty being, all-knowing, whatever, came down and wrote a book? No, he didn't write the book himself, but he inspired man to write the book, because man always write completely accurate stories. Have you ever heard of that game Telephone? And I bring that up as an example because, as we all know, stories have a way of changing, of being adapted, based on every person who tells that story in sequence.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? So you get to talk to someone about religion, and all they get to tell you at the end of the conversation is, well, this is what I feel. This is about faith, not reason. But your God, your so-called God, created a rational, thinking human being, but then told you when you got to this part to suspend thought.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems conflicting to me.
Counterintuitive.
Exactly.
I mean, when you get right down to it, deceptive, just because you're not thinking. You put all your hopes about gaining new information on a book that's not changing. So, I mean, change. You know, and when we keep talking about this critical thinking thing, change keeps coming up quite a bit.
It does.
Change keeps coming up quite a bit. So maybe something to do with that. Maybe there's something there. Maybe something with, you know, changing up your environment and the people that you're around. Increase that. New experience. I mean, it seems like...
new experiences, new people. You would think so. The more exposure we have to things that are different from us, the more our thinking should change because we now have to take in new information.
Yeah.
Exactly. But instead, you get people who experience that cognitive dissonance and they stop because that just rocked their whole world and I don't want to go any further. The world is flat. Why you keep going forward?
Man.
You're going to fall off.
And they really will just stop at the edge too. Just
that's like I'm not doing
questions,
it. I'm
no
not
more
doing
nothing.
it. I'm done. You got popular musicians writing songs like I don't want to know. Exactly. Think about that. I don't want to know. If anything, I think they say ignorance is bliss. I personally think that ignorance is the death of all life.
That's a good point. You might be right.
Because I want to know. I want to know it all.
I want to know too. Shit.
You know what I'm saying? You ask me what I want to do in the future, I want to know everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. Why? Because it's only when you know everything that you experienced enough, that you have the ability to think about different things separately and to critically evaluate them. Their place in your life, their place in existence, all those things come into play there once you learn those things.
I'm going to just go back to the Bible once again. I mean, I know this is going to be bad, but...
Oh, wow. Here we go.
No. I'm not going to make it too horrible.
Okay.
I'm just saying, the book never changes. So you can't bring anything new in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, no, you can't.
You just can't bring new shit in. So it's like you're stuck there. And anything that happens new outside of that book or that train of thought, you can't even think about. Because it's too big for you. It's too out there. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much. And you just stop. Like you said, y'all don't want to know. And it's just... They just go right back to their little fucking Quran or whatever, and they just never pick it. You know.
Well, you're at the edge of the earth at this point.
Yeah.
Why would you step off into the abyss?
Is that what critical thinking is really? Stepping off into? Because
I think that's how a lot of people tend to view it.
You think so? Do
you disagree?
I don't know. You know what? We're here talking about this because I kind of want to get into the minutia of it. I kind of want to get into the bigger idea and trying to bring it down smaller at the same time. And it's like...
The macro and the micro.
Yeah, but I don't really know. Because to me, it just seems natural. If something happens, why? You know, why did this just happen? How is this going down? Like, what is really going on? Like, there's got to be more to it.
There's got to be an explanation.
But more and more people, it seems to me, are just like, you know, this is the face value and there's nothing else. And now I'm just going to make my decision... I mean, not even really making a decision, just that's it, that's all, and now I'm just gonna walk away type shit. Like,
well, Fox 5 just reported a man killed his wife. We accept that. We don't looking to see why he killed his wife, what was going on in that relationship before. We just know that he killed his wife, and the majority of people just accepted that and moved on with their lives.
No, they expect somebody else to take care of it. And
so is that part of the problem right there? Is that part of the reason why critical thinking skill is not what it should be? Because why should I have to think critically about something else when someone else can do the work? They'll just tell me, or better yet, Google will tell me tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, see, I guess it's a cultural thing, and not just Western or Eastern or Middle Eastern. It seems like it is a worldwide phenomenon because, like you said, every aspect of your life, you should be thinking about these things.
Right.
And more people are just not.
They just accept.
They just accept. Listen and believe, man. Listen and believe. That's what we've come to. We have come to a listen and believe global society. This is what collectivism has done to us. This is what globalism has done to us. It has brought us into.
I know. Hold on. Now I don't like to argue against collectivism.
Really?
I don't like to argue against that. I don't like to argue against that. I think there's lots of pros to.
Oh God, don't. Here we go. Now here we go.
My shit.
No,
my shit. There's lots of pros in the group of mine. Individuals tend to bring about all kinds of problems.
Oh my God! Please don't do this. Don't do this. Do that. You're gonna. I already know. This is it. Here it comes. Totalitarianism. Here it comes right now. Jesus Christ.
I was just saying, it seems to be a lot of problems. But I don't think so much as collectivism is the problem. I think the problem is that we're not successfully merging different cultures, different peoples together in a collective whole. We're not successfully doing that. Instead, we're taking a whole bunch of jigsaw pieces and we're just mashing them together and say at some point the shit will click into place.
Well, it will.
At some point. But in the meantime, all that smashing is just breaking lives.
Okay.
It's breaking lives, it's breaking cultures. There's all kinds of problems that's occurring because of that. Instead, we need to figure out how we can come together in a way where everybody is equally represented.
Okay.
And we're able to access the same amount of information and do the things that we need to do.
Well, I mean, I think, again, technology is doing that more and more,
It is. I mean, digitally, we are more connected today than in known history than we've ever been.
Why are you throwing known in there?
Because there's shit that we don't know.
Well, of course, but I don't really think. I mean, if we would have made.
Do you think there's a history? Do you disagree that there was a history before known history?
No, I don't disagree with that, but I don't think that they were as connected as we are now.
We don't know that.
There were less people on the planet, okay?
Yeah, there was less people on the planet.
More spaced out.
But we're saying that we're digitally connected these days.
Okay.
They might have been even more digitally connected. Or maybe there was telepathy.
Okay, there was no telepathy.
You don't know there was no telepathy.
Just stop, okay?
You don't know there was no telepathy.
Okay, fine.
What about the coneheads?
The who?
What about the coneheads?
Yes.
You've seen the fossils. You've seen the skeletons.
Get the fuck out of here.
You've seen them.
Really?
You've seen them.
That's where we're going.
What about the skeletons on Mars? They're not there?
They're not there.
The pyramids on Mars? Come on now. What about the skeleton on the moon? You saw that shit. I know you watched that YouTube video.
But again, though, I think maybe part of the problem is the amount of false information out there, too.
See, and that's critical thinking, once again, because we got to be able to filter all the information that's available and figure out what's relevant, what's not, what's real, and what's not, and then apply that to our own lives and the situation that we're going through.
And there's not very many ways to do that. As a layperson, I don't think.
I mean, okay, well, you asked me earlier. Let me ask you, what is your process for critical thinking?
The scientific method.
The scientific method. The tried and true empirical thought. So if I try this and this happens, maybe it's a fluke. Let me try it again and see if it happens again.
Yeah.
Critical thought, the empirical thought, is the ability to prove a fact based on the successive number of experiments, the repeated experiments, that all yield the same result.
Yeah.
That is true scientific thought. Yeah. So, based on scientific thought, what are you saying is whole religion here? Is you saying this is something that's just leading humanity through what?
A dead end. That's what I think. Like I said already, you can't get anything new in there. No one's writing any more chapters to the Bible, so it's over. It's done. That's the end of the road, pretty much. Think about it like this. Maybe there was a time in history where there was some dude who dressed in a woman's clothes. They just killed that motherfucker. And that was it. There was nothing else to think about. That was an anomaly, and it's gone. Nowadays, you can't really do that. So there's a problem there, because they have to look at this book and then look at this person and be like, I don't have a new way to deal with this anymore. They're excluding new experiences. You know what I'm saying? They're burying their head in the sand and, you know, got their fingers in their ears and they're just walking, like, and they don't take in that new shit. And it's a problem.
So you're saying they're just walking with blinders on this point. Basically what you're saying is they're taking this book that's written, what, 1,500, 1,800 years ago?
Something like that.
1,800 years ago, and they're using this as their filter for life.
In the present day. Yes.
In the present day.
That's
So, okay, so, well, my best friend Gary just came out the closet. In a book, we say we should kill faggots. So,
right?
Gary, we can't be friends anymore.
Dude,
I'm supposed to be trying to kill you.
Fuck that, man.
Fuck the 20 years of friendship that we had. Gary, you got to die now. The book told me that.
That's just the, like, day-to-day, like, I'm talking, like, huge things, like, hey, maybe the Earth isn't at the center of the universe, type shit, like.
I don't know, man. You talking like that might be like other life and shit. Ooh, that's a radical thought right there, buddy.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, and I don't want to pick on religion when I'm talking about critical thinking, but I'm sorry, but I feel like a very large portion of religious people have just
okay, but what about those
given up?
What about those Christian quantum physicists that are out there?
Are they out there? Where are
which
they?
sounds very contradictory.
Where are they?
And yet, you do hear about them every once in a while.
Yeah, you do hear about them talking about how, you know, this science has brought them closer to spirituality and, you know, it just, because there's more questions and it just deepens the mystery, which is fine, but don't go answering questions without answers with something that's even going to be a bigger question, which is God. That's a huge fucking problem. To me. I don't know, man. Like, it just seems like they really have given up on critical
when you look at the whole interconnectedness of it all, it does seem as if there's a design to it. And if there's a design to it, then there must be a creator to it. And if there's a creator to it, then it must be God we are talking about. God came into your life. God made this world for you.
Oh my God. Please stop. Just stop. Okay? For real. That is just too much.
And yet, that is how it happens.
No, it really
It goes
is.
down every Sunday in the DM.
Oh my God. I don't know, man. So, I mean, what other things are people not thinking about?
Man.
I mean, okay, here's another thing. I'm gonna say, you're right about the school part. Something has to be done bringing up these fucking kids. Something has got to be done. I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and say I got all the answers, but fucking A. We are pumping out so many stupid children. It is just laughable. It's terrible.
Okay, in a country that claims that we're one of the most educated countries in the world, why? Notice I said claim. Why is it? What the hell just happened now? Oh, let's just stop playing.
Damn.
There we go. In a country that claims to have the most educated country in the world, why is it that we have illiterate people graduating from school?
And I know one. Shit, I know two. Now that I think about it, it's 2016.
It's 2016. And this educational system, which America claims to be proud of, yet they carefully, I'm not even going to say carefully, yet they constantly defund this department. They want to say that our kids are the best and the brightest in the world.
I can't even.
And yet, there's kids that's coming out here who are fucking illiterate, who do not know how to read, let alone have basic math skills.
That's true.
When's the last time you saw the problem without fucking using a calculator? Oh, my bad, your smartphone. Because you don't even know what a calculator is. You never held a TX90 in your hands.
Oh, Texas Instruments, those things are gone.
Exactly.
Those things are gone. Damn, I wonder if there is a graphing calculator app.
Probably
I bet
is.
there is.
It probably
I bet
is.
there is.
It probably is. If not,
That's crazy.
best believe Google will make one tomorrow.
No, look, you can't blame public schools, man. You know, we're coming up on a myriad of factors as far as critical thinking goes. We're coming up on a myriad of factors. Change seems to be a big factor. Your upbringing seems to be another factor. Yeah, I mean, and it seems to be a young, in your early years, if you don't get it, you just don't have it. You just don't care to see the shit, and it's
No, well, you know, Freud says that we tend to form our core personality by the time we're 9 years old.
I believe that.
So after that, yeah, it's hard to infect that new change again.
So I guess it's just not gonna happen.
It's like the man said, we got to get to them while they're young. We got to get them to start thinking while they're young.
Yeah, and that's
More constructive games, more group experiences, more situations where they have to figure their way out of something. And don't just pull them out. Fuck this whole no child left behind law shit. Because we're graduating motherfuckers who can't read. That's a problem.
that is a problem.
But okay, fuck that shit. Instead, let's get them to the point where they start thinking. Let's put them in situations where they have to think, otherwise they can't move forward. But then let's put some pressure on them because we got to make up for the last 30 years, at least.
40, 50 years?
You know?
I mean...
So how do we gently put that nudge on them? Like, hey, I'm really going to need you to up your game a little, baby. How do we do that?
Wow.
And then do it in a manner in which they don't see a division in culture, ethnicity, or religion.
What are you right though? And I don't know. I find it hard to think that you're gonna have a perfect, ubiquitous group of just like thought. It's not gonna happen. There's too much granular shit there. Everybody leads too much of a different life, and our individuality is just too hardwired.
I mean, there's so many things though that we have in common though. It's the one pants leg at a time. It's the whole need to eat, the need to sleep, the need to engage in some kind of social discourse in order to maintain some kind of form of sanity.
Right.
Because we all know what happens when humans go off in the woods by themselves. They start building bombs and think about societies and shit.
Yeah.
Shit goes twisted.
Yeah, that's when you start getting motherfuckers in fucking, what the hell is that? The Little House on the Prairie.
Exactly. You know, or the House of Wax and shit. I mean, this is when shit like that starts to happen.
Chainsaw Massacre.
Exactly. Fucking Leatherface and his family and shit.
Hills Have Eyes type shit.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
what
see? That's why motherfuckers need to be watching each other like, hey. Hey, Party, you been acting kind of strange lately.
I don't know. But there's a point where it can get too far, though. I'm sorry. It just is. It is a point where the watching each other can go too fucking far, because people are going to bring their own individuality into it. They're going to bring their own truth to it, and it's going to be a problem. I mean, just think about, man, I can't believe I'm about to bring this up. Abortion.
Oh. That's
Like,
always a
yeah,
somebody.
but the thing I'm just saying about the whole collectivism thing, there's gonna be people with different ideas about shit, and if I'm in my doctor's office, I don't want you there. I don't give a fuck who you are. Sorry, but this is me time right now. And
the government is already there.
See, that's the problem. That's what I'm saying.
Been there since the beginning.
And that's the fucking problem. That's what I'm saying.
So like, you're saying you're anti-Patriot Act right now?
Oh yeah.
But this is how we stop terrorists.
No, it's not.
This is how we protect the freedoms of our citizens.
All you're doing right now is creating domestic terrorists. Clearly.
No. No. I refuse to believe that, sir.
It's too late. It's too late. We've already seen it, man. I mean, this is what happens when
the Boston bomber, really? That's what you're gonna bring up?
I mean, any dispute that is settled with violence, I have to blame on the violence inherent in the system.
Here's the question right there. Since you bring that up, why does it always go back to that? Why can we just be that society of collected individuals who can have a rational conversation, a discourse, and come to a reasoned solution? Why does it always going to come down to, I see no one wins if I kill you? You're not listening to me. I gotta kill you.
Because that's the only way you can write your own history is if you fucking win that
What
fight.
was the whole Son of Sam debacle? My dog told me to kill him. My dog told me to kill my neighbors.
Well, yeah, there's crazy people out there, but you said rational, man. I'm not talking about the crazy motherfuckers.
What I'm saying here is, why is we not at that rational point right now?
And then you bring up crazy people. That's not
because it seems to me as if more people are crazy today than irrational.
Well,
somewhere along the lines, those numbers got skewed.
I'm not gonna say crazy. I just think people have given up on the discourse. They've given up on the. I mean, not very many people vote. There are no more like.
There was a whole rock the vote that happened in 2008.
What, P. Diddy? He didn't do shit. What the fuck?
There was a lot of voters that showed up that time.
Sorry.
And they successfully voted for Mr. Obama.
Nah, man, we need to make that shit mandatory. Everybody needs to vote. It should be a national holiday that you get off and just drop the shit in the mailbox.
As a part of your conditional part of citizenship, you are required to vote. It's not an option.
It's not
like registering. It's not like select the service and shit, which you're required to register for. But something that you actually have to do.
I would say you have to do it. I would make you fucking do it. Because it's not... You live in a place where people are doing things to you that you don't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't change the fucking speed limit if I don't actually tell people what I want it to be. You need to say something. And we have to give people the ability to say shit.
But there's people saying shit all the time.
Yeah, but not through the political process. They're just bitching. You know what I'm saying? They're just fucking making memes on the internet. Like, they're not...
But millions of people see those memes.
And then those millions of people don't vote. So that's a fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, it needs to be fucking required. Get people out there and get people fighting for what they say. I mean...
I like that. So, follow-up question to that video, right? Did you register to vote?
This is not about me, okay? I don't even know why.
Wow. Classic distancing act right there. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that?
I don't know why.
Did y'all see that? The minute you brought it personal, motherfuckers took your job and down off to the left like, listen, this ain't even about me right now. I'm not even going to end this conversation.
Look, okay? I don't live in the world where everybody has to vote, okay? I don't.
So you choose not to vote, even though you advocate for the need for everybody to vote.
Yeah. I could be...
Hold on. Wind that back one time, Mr. Director. The guy who is advocating for everybody being required to vote lives in a society where he's not required and chooses not to vote.
But I would if I was required to, so what's the problem? I don't understand.
Wow.
What
because
is the
if
problem?
you chose to vote, maybe it will vote the law that requires everyone to vote.
If that law ever comes up, I'll be there. But they ain't on no shit that I'm on right now, so that's why I don't vote. Simple as that.
Huh.
You always end up doing some lesser of two evils type shit, and I don't like it. Now, honestly,
because it's a two-party system.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. But, Bernie Sanders right now, I think I will vote for Bernie Sanders. This might be the first time I ever vote. If he actually... Thank you. So, come on now, what can I do? They brought up Obama. I didn't vote for Obama. I didn't vote for neither one of the asses. I'm like, no, this is some false dichotomy bullshit. The change that they keep talking about, I mean, I remember seeing the fucking election on TV. Everybody was like, yeah, change. Everybody went to work the next day. And nothing changed. Like, well, what's really going on? Where's the change? What's happening? What's it going to be? Oh, we're about to bail out these banks. See? That's bullshit, and I'm gone.
See? But you have the ability to vote on that, though.
No, I didn't. No one did.
Did you even talk to your representative?
Wow, ain't that a bitch? Get out of here. What do you think this is? You think I don't know what the fuck is going on? I don't give two shits about me personally calling them up. Sorry, but
that is your right as an American citizen to call up your state representative, your congressional representative, and be like, listen, this is how we feel about this whole plan to bail out the banks. We think y'all should stop this shit.
At the time, we already know that the vast majority of people were like, don't do it. do not bail out these car companies. Do not
But
bail out these banks.
So if the vast majority of people wanted it, and the people who are in power to make these things happen are representatives, no, servants of the people.
It's supposed to be public servants. That's what they call
Public
themselves.
servants. How is it that they could go against what the master required?
Because it's not real. I mean, come on now.
What? Wait a minute. I mean, if that's the case, then the President of the United States, which is the head of all public servants in the constitutional system, should be my bitch, right?
Mm.
I should be able to call dude up and be like, listen, make this law. Do this thing. I should have that kind of ability, shouldn't I?
If you have enough people, that's the idea. I mean, you know, and it's different in California because you can write up any fucking law, and if you get enough names on the ballot or on the petition, they have to put the shit up for referendum, and everybody gets to vote on that shit. And a lot of people are like,
But
"Oh, California is lawless."
But you said California, but that doesn't
Yeah,
exist everywhere else?
It's not like that everywhere. No, hell no. What? Hell no. If it was like that everywhere, man, we would be living in a totally different world.